Gleðileg jól. It's the Christmas season, and what better time of year to have a little bit of a glimpse into some of the weirdness behind Icelandic Christmas traditions. We're not going to focus on the typical things. If you already looked a little bit into this, you might already know that we have our 13 Yule lads, those strange troll-like versions of Santa Clauses, which are mischievous cretins that creep down from the mountains and sneak little treats into kids' shoes throughout the Advent. We know they come from the mountains. Another probably odder thing, and probably the worst kept secret about Icelandic pop Christmas songs is that they don't come from the mountains like the Yule lads. They come from a town on the Italian riviera called San Remo. Yes, it's an odd thing indeed. We need to go back to the 80s or 90s, and my theory is this, that Icelandic musicians back then, before the invention of the internet, probably pretty much thought they could plagiarize anything they would find abroad, bring it back home, repackage it and sell it pretty much as their own, probably stating that they're using borrowed songs but kind of rebrand the whole thing and kind of sell it as their own product. So what I think happened was that, well, a handful of musicians back in the day, they went to San Remo in February, where there is a song contest traditionally in Italy. They picked out the cream of the crop, so what they liked most. They brought it back home with them after their long-deserved rest in the sun during the winter time. They wrote Icelandic lyrics, Christmas-based, repackaged, sometimes slightly changed or rearranged the songs, but many times just not at all, and republished those as Icelandic Christmas songs in the following year. So I could easily imagine that Italian tourists that are visiting Iceland around this time of year sometimes become quite confused when they hear Christmas songs on the radio. Now, we of course have all kinds of Christmas songs, traditional old Icelandic folklore-based songs, hymn-based things. We have our own Icelandic versions of the international songs like Silent Night and all these things. And we of course listen to a plethora of all kinds of songs. And there's of course no shortage of purely, truly, actually original Icelandic pop songs like the famous Jólahjól, the fantastic Icelandic pop Christmas song. But I want to give you a few examples of these, give you some audio examples to, well, or let's even have a look at some music videos to show you the Icelandic Christmas songs that I hold dear to my heart, that I later in life realized are not actually Icelandic songs, but Italian summer pop songs. So let's have a listen to a few of those. Ég hlakka svo til. This is probably from the 90s by Svala Björgvinsdóttir here in Iceland. Yeah, pretty much an anthem of my childhood or teenage Christmas. Sounds Christmassy and nice to me, but actually it's this Italian song. Hardly not changed at all, is it? Ég og þú, a romantic Christmas classic. Is actually this one, Si Sara. And there really isn't a Christmas for me without hearing Komdu jólin. Og kert og spil nánast liðin tíð. Komdu jólin. By Björgvin Halldórsson, Svala's father, who was probably one of the most prolific ones in this practice. And this is probably a pretty well-known or better-known Italian song. I think it was a Eurovision entry or something at one point in time. Gente di mare. Very Christmas, right? Þú komst með jólin til mín. And then there's a quite popular one, maybe it's slightly more recent, I can't remember, maybe it's from the 2000s rather than the 90s, but it might still be from the 90s, by Helgi Björnsson, who thinks he's the Icelandic Mick Jagger. This is the slightly controversial Ef ég nenni. Which originally is called Cozy Celeste. And finally in our collection, there are probably more of these, Svona eru jólin. Well, this was just a tiny insight into a few of these. I'm sure there are quite a few more that I haven't been found or been able to pick up. There have been some collections. This has been mentioned a few times in the past few years here in Iceland as people came aware of these things. It's not just the music. I think we plagiarized quite a lot prior to the days of the internet. There are some TV comedy shows that were shown, quite popular here again back in the 80s or 90s in Iceland, that I think picked up pretty much every joke from some British shows that they found on tape somewhere. This being said, I'm gonna stop here. The funny or interesting thing is that I'm probably gonna get a copyright hit on this video for showing those clips and samples from the Icelandic publishing companies that own the right to the Icelandic songs. Merry Christmas.